Hello everybody, this is Kyle Tomson with Tomson Burnham Real Estate. I am a real estate agent in Salem, Oregon, and this is my Living in Salem YouTube channel. I've lived here for 25 years, and this channel is about sharing what I know about Salem and the surrounding area with everyone who watches to help them decide if this is the right place for them to live. As you are watching today's video, if you like what you see and find it helpful, click on the thumbs up icon, write a comment, or share it. YouTube relies on these metrics when deciding which videos to promote, so it helps others find us. For the last couple of years, we have taken a deep dive into the real estate numbers in the Willamette Valley and created a 16-page end-of-year review and a separate mid-year review. We did this because the real estate market has been changing so dramatically and so quickly that it was hard for consumers to understand what was actually happening in the market. We've always been a data-driven company, and so we thought it'd be useful for our clients if we could present them with the hard numbers and talk about what they meant. Well, now it's July of 2024, so it's time for our 2024 mid-year report. In addition to discussing all of the real estate numbers, we are also going to touch on the class action real estate lawsuit settlement and the rise of buyer agency agreements. So stay tuned. So let's start off by talking about price expectations versus reality. When interest rates started to climb, a lot of people started to hold back and wait for a dramatic drop in home prices. However, like waiting for a diet soda to start tasting like the real thing, expectations and reality don't quite match up. Because inventory levels are staying stubbornly low, home prices not only haven't gone down, but in most of the Willamette Valley, they've gone up. The chart you see shows the median home prices and percentage increase across most cities covered by our MLS. Most cities have seen price increases over the last year, but not all. The price decreases in Woodburn and Independence can be attributed to a big slowdown in new construction, as new construction are some of the most expensive homes on the market. Higher interest rates have been with us for a long time now, and we haven't seen a big market correction here in the valley. Unless inventory starts to increase, prices will likely continue to tick upward. Since inventory is such a key metric, let's take a close look at the inventory levels across all of these cities. This chart shows the June inventory for each city, and it is expressed in months of available inventory. What this number means is that at the rate that homes are selling, if no new homes come on the market in that many months, inventory will drop to zero. A balanced market with roughly an equal number of buyers and sellers will have around 5 months of inventory. Anything less favors sellers, anything more favors buyers. And as you can see from this chart, nearly every city is still solidly in a seller's market, but many of the cities have seen their inventory numbers grow. While that hasn't translated into buyers holding all the cards, it does mean that in many cases, buyers are in a better position to negotiate repairs and closing costs. There is an interesting caveat to these low inventory numbers. With so many homeowners having mortgages under 4%, there isn't a lot of motivation to move, which is one of the main reasons inventory is so low. The sellers currently listing properties are often those with compelling reasons to move, such as job relocations, divorces, estate sales, or transitioning to assisted living. These circumstances typically lead to a more motivated seller who may be open to negotiations on closing costs and repairs. Buyers who are choosing to buy right now with the higher interest rates are often negotiating closing costs and more repairs than in previous years. An interesting exception to all of this is Silverton, a picturesque city on the eastern edge of the Willamette Valley. They have moved into a solid buyer's market. And while their median home price is down slightly, it's not down a lot. So the Silverton market isn't behaving like we would expect. It will be interesting to see if June is a blip in the data and its inventory numbers come back down to be closer to the rest of the valley as the summer progresses. But low inventory is still the driver of the real estate market in the Willamette Valley, and until interest rates come down, it will remain the driver. One of the metrics that we have started to take a close look at is the percentage of active listings with price drops. The median home prices and inventory numbers are certainly important, but how many sellers had to drop their prices to sell their homes? This indicator can give us a bit more insight as to whether a market is starting to favor buyers or sellers. And because this is more of a real-time statistic, it can give us that insight before inventory or median prices do. This chart shows the percentage of active listings that have had at least one price drop. Now, there is always some homes that have price drops. Even during the frenzy of COVID, there were homes with price drops. But this chart tells us one of the reasons why inventory has stayed low. Despite June being one of the busiest real estate months of the year, a lot of sellers have been reducing prices. Take Salem. 41% of the homes on the market in June had gone through at least one price drop. So sellers here in the Valley have adapted to the market. If they don't get showings or offers, they don't wait around and hope it gets better. They are dropping their prices. But for the buyers out there, waiting to offer until there is a price drop is a bit of an art and science. We have seen this happen quite often. A house is sitting on the market, and then there's a price drop, and then 2 to 3 offers come in, and sometimes it gets bid up a bit from the new lower price up to almost where it was in the first place. Ideally, you want to time the offer to be just before a price drop, but you're going to need a savvy buyer agent to pull that off. So let's switch gears and talk about investing. There are 3 types of investing we'll discuss: flipping, multifamily properties, and wholesaling. Flippers have all but exited the market. Higher interest rates and rising construction costs have made tackling fixer-uppers more daunting and risky. We have seen a number of partially gutted and remodeled homes hit the market where a flipper started the process and then ran out of funds. Until interest rates drop and or prices for these types of properties correct, flipping is hard to make pencil. Now, some of the best price appreciation over the last year in any real estate are multifamily housing. The average duplex sold for $459,950 in June, and there is 7.8 months of inventory, which is a little low for duplexes. While the median sale prices of tris and fourplexes is $675,000 with 6.8 months of inventory. Triplexes and fourplexes are up 11.6% over the last year, offering some of the best capitalization rates for investment properties. The median price for duplexes is a little skewed because there have been some very high-end new construction duplexes hitting the market of late, but the whole space has been selling well. For those considering wholesaling as an investment strategy, there are some legislative changes that have recently taken effect. Wholesalers have to now register with the state, complete an application, pay fees, and undergo background checks, very much like a real estate agent does. There are also some new disclosure requirements. All of these changes came after numerous complaints from homeowners. The new laws aim to bring transparency and fairness to the wholesaling process in Oregon. We've been discussing all of the class action lawsuits swirling around the real estate industry for some time now. Since our 2023 year-end summary, the National Association of Realtors, the NAR, agreed to a large settlement and changes for realtor-run MLS systems where membership in the NAR was mandatory. It's important to note that while all realtors are licensed real estate agents, not all licensed real estate agents are realtors. The latter signifies membership in the NAR. The Willamette Valley MLS operates independently and includes both realtors and non-realtor members, so it doesn't have to adhere to NAR rules. In contrast, the RMLS, which covers Portland and Eugene, is a realtor-run system and must comply with the settlement agreement. Starting August 17, 2024, NAR members will be required to follow the terms of the agreement. The Willamette Valley MLS has decided to follow the advertising protocols from the NAR settlement, and starting August 16th, will no longer allow offers of compensation to be shared on the WVMLS system. So what does this mean for consumers? Well, realtors will be prohibited from making compensation offers to buyer agents, but non-realtors will retain this option. Hiring a realtor will require you to sign a compensation disclosure, and buyers will be required to sign buyer agent agreements before touring any properties. Non-realtors, at this time, aren't required to get a buyer agency agreement signed prior to touring a property, but the Oregon legislature passed House Bill 4058 in February of this year that will require buyer agent agreements starting January 1st of 2024 for all real estate agents. And that means that big changes are on the horizon for buyers. For the first time, you'll need to evaluate the value your buyer agent brings to the table and decide how much you're willing to pay for their services. Because once you sign the buyer agency agreement, you are guaranteeing their payment. And this is a really important point. Right now, when you sign a buyer agency agreement, the buyer agent compensation is being guaranteed by the seller of the home. That goes away in 3 weeks. It is absolutely critical that you interview potential agents before signing that contract. Here is my tried and true advice for prospective clients. Find a house that you're interested in and schedule 3 separate visits with 3 different agents, and then evaluate their insight. Look for an agent that discusses the pros and cons of the house, details about the location and the neighborhood. If an agent merely asks you if you like it, move on. Keep interviewing until you find someone who demonstrates knowledge about the homes and the neighborhoods that you're interested in. It's not enough that you like them personally. Most real estate agents are nice people. And this extends to friends and family. There are so many real estate agents that it's hard to find someone who doesn't have a friend or family member who is an agent. And in the past, many a consumer would hire a buyer agent strictly because they were a friend or family member. But starting August 17th, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to pay my friend or family member $10,000, $15,000 for the sole reason that I already know them? Because once you sign a buyer agent agreement, that is exactly what you're agreeing to. I ask you this. Would you pay a lawyer $500 an hour or a surgeon tens of thousands of dollars, and the only criteria you had was that you were related to them or that they were a friend? Would you do that? I don't think many people would. But that has been an acceptable criteria for buyer agents for decades because buyer agency has been touted as a free service. But it's not free, and it never has been. But now consumers are going to have to start paying buyer agents, or at least have a buyer agent skilled enough to negotiate their fee. You owe it to yourself to get the best representation for your money that you can. So what conclusions can we draw? Well, first, low inventory will continue. The average homeowner is now staying in their home for 12.3 years, far longer than ever before. Only those facing significant life events are entering the market. Everybody else is sitting it out. We're expecting median home price appreciation to slow. The year-to-date appreciation rates align with the Federal Reserve's goals following the interest rate hikes, but many buyers are waiting for rates to drop so mortgage payments are more affordable. Buyers waiting for lower rates will keep prices from rising too much. And new construction will remain slower. High costs of labor, land, and loans have slowed construction, even for less expensive housing like townhomes. National builders, though, like Lennar and D.R. Horton, do have an advantage and will be able to continue to build out subdivisions thanks to their mortgage financing arms, which have significantly better rates than banks. And with the upcoming changes requiring buyers to negotiate fees with their agents, we may see more unrepresented buyers. We'll need more time to see how this is going to play out, as there have been instances with sellers refusing offers from unrepresented buyers. And the best deals to be had in the market are fixer-uppers. Flippers have temporarily left the market, leaving buyers the opportunity to negotiate good deals. Particularly, buyers considering home purchases with renovation loans can benefit significantly. Now, renovation loans allow you to incorporate renovation costs into your mortgage payments, presenting an opportunity for savvy buyers. And that is our 2024 mid-year market report. If you have any questions or would like to get a PDF version of our report, feel free to reach out to me. And if you liked what you saw today, click the subscribe button and you see on your screen, and you'll be alerted when my next video goes live. I'll see you next time.